Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikto and today we begin a new dark age in Middle-earth. So join me on this journey and submit to the one true Lord. Let's first of all spend our renown as we have over 6k, which is enough for 5 dynasty legacies. And we are going with warfare. That allows us to recruit the House Guard men-at-arms. Let's check this. Here they are. We also have access to many other special men-at-arms, for example like the Black Uruks or the Olokai down here. We can see they are very expensive. I think they are trolls or something like that, but also very OP. They of course only come in small numbers though. Because they are so expensive, we will work on maxing out our other men-at-arms first. We can also start the construction of Grond, which was the ram the orcs used to siege Minas Tirith in the films. And we can do that every 20 years. The Lord of the Rings. At long last, Sauron's hour is coming. He has had setbacks, the defiance of Celebrimbor and the elves, the intervention of the Númenóreans not once but thrice. Once in the war of the elves and Sauron, another by Ar-Pharazôn, and lastly by accursed Elendil and his sons. The defeat in the war of the last alliance was a great blow, but even in their triumph Sauron's enemies failed at the last, for the one endured, and so was his return made inevitable. Middle-earth has been abandoned by the Valar and is ready for a new master to put in order. Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Earth. Ooh, the Hammer of the Underworld. Grond, Hammer of the Underworld, breaker of cities, at last is ready to be unleashed upon my foes. Okay, we get an army of 1 man in Barad-dûr. This should be a special soldier. Yeah. And it gives +6 siege per day. That's crazy. And I will repeat doing that every 20 years. As Sauron, we of course also have access to the sorcery system. Let's do it in our chambers, and I think we can pretty much cast all spells. But I'm really interested only in troop counts for the moment, so let's call the Horde. Success! An army has been assembled. Let's see what we got. Okay, we have Haradrim and Abrakan troops. And that are nearly 6k troops. Hey, Gollum died. We had him in our prison. What do you mean? He was murdered? Who murdered him? The Tachn dispute. The Tachn Confederacy is roiling with unrest as the ambitious new Catabor seeks to push forward political and religious reforms. Okay, so there are basically 2 factions and we can choose to support one faction, I think. Let's see. Intervene in Tachn civil war. Little escapes the notice of Sauron the Great. We can pay 500 gold and they will become our tributary if they succeed. The assault on East Gondor. The Anduin is in many ways Gondor's best defense against the assault of Mordor. Wide and fast flowing, there are few places where one can cross safely or in great numbers, and they are all held by Gondor. The most efficient way is across the bridges of Osgiliath, the ancient royal capital of Gondor, whose bridges are wide and strong. Caer Andros remains as a possibility as well, but the island citadel will not fall easily. Regardless of which route our forces would take, the remaining Dunedain defenses in Ithilien must first fall. As soon as I give the command, my legions shall assail the Dunedain and their pitful holdouts of Ithilien, and open for my hosts a road by which to take the crossings. We can march on North Ithilien, the southern thrust. We can postpone it, or we can cancel it at all. We will declare a war, of course. This would be the southern pocket, and that's the northern one. I'm not sure which one would be law accurate to take it. I think I want to go with the southern one first and take the northern one later. Let's raise our troops down here. We have 28k now. I've refilled some of the men-at-arms. Oh, we got them on our soil. Ron is here as well. Okay, that's an easy one. Gondor didn't stand a chance. Let's see how they are doing once Aragorn returns. I will give those lands to the Witch King. My plan for the whole game is that probably only the Nazgûl will receive any lands, besides Saruman. But that also brings us up here. I want to expand our territory at Dol Guldur. That's an easy war, of course. That's only as a beachhead. I want to march on Lothlorien soon. So let's cut out the way to them. Alright, now for Galadriel. Elves are pretty strong in this mod, so I guess this will be our first challenge. On the other hand, we have 33k troops. Yeah, maybe not that much of a challenge. And we got it. The lights of Lorien extinguished. The heart of Elvendom on earth burns, its silver trees turning black while the golden leaves vanish into clouds of ashes. Karas Galadorn has fallen to my forces, and the hated elves flee before my victorious armies. We shall pillage and despoil this place until nothing remains but scarred earth and hewn tree stumps. All traces of elven influence shall be stamped out beneath the boots of the new masters of the Golden Wood. Burn them all. The Elvens flee, which means that the culture changes to Orcish culture and the faith changes to our faith. Basically in all provinces, I guess. That should also leave us with a special decision. Desecrate Karas Galadorn. Karas Galadorn, the self-proclaimed heart of Elvendom in Middle-earth, stands as a monument of the power of the elves and more particularly to Galadriel and Celeborn. Their domain is centered around a truly great tree. What a joy it would be to set it alight, a candle and a funeral pyre to the dwindling elves as their time ends. We gain 500 piety, every elf loses piety. We will become the owner of the Mirror of Galadriel, and we will create a new special building. After the fall of Karas Galadorn, I have taken my time to fully despoil and desecrate the site that once held the so-called Heart of Elvendom on Earth. No trace of the prideful elves who once dwelt here remains. The city is now named Sebergel, the Weeping Stake. And though all the Galadrim that for so long inhabited this place are gone, the disembodied wails seem to linger in the wind, crying out in anguish and despair. Such delightful sound. I've just realized that our Tejin faction has won, and we've a tributary down here. Camul of the East is only a tributary, not a vessel. And we can't vassalize him as well. I feel like there should be an option to make him a vassal, as he's our Nazgûl. But I guess we will just release his tributary and subjugate him afterwards. I don't like to do it that way, but I want him as a vassal king. Great, he hates us now, but we will just grant him all those lands down here. I think that should be enough to make him love us again. Yeah, over 1,000 opinion. Next up is Ethelian, as our peace with Gondor is over. But I think maybe not a holy war, but instead the invade kingdom casus belli. That would allow us to also take both sides of Osgiliath. Yep. I like how the Witch King is raiding with his own army of 8,600 men. Let's siege down Osgiliath. And the war's won. Yeah, we get North Ethelian and Osgiliath. Once again, give everything to the Witch King. He will basically rule all of Gondor, we take, I think. Saruman is not looking too good. He's lost a war against Theoden. Let's keep pushing in the north against the skin changers this time. That should be all the army wiped. And we won. I've just found Radagast on our border, so let's crush him real quick. He had an army of 6 men. That poor little Istari. We have to colonize this province to be able to take the next special decision, which is shackle the Anduin Vale. The men of the Anduin Vale have grown haughty and proud under the leadership of Beorn and his descendants. But scant generations ago they were simple woodsmen living in our shadow, and now they shall be again. The glade that once was home to the house of Beorn is aflame, and its inhabitants are slain or enslaved. The Anduin Vale has been taken and shall now bear the shackles of servitude, my shackles. Let the prideful Beornings toll in our minds, slaving away for the benefit of my realm. My domain has expanded. Next realm to fall is Dale. I've taken some minor counties to make a land connection to the realm. Let's march for the great cities of Esgaroth and Dale. After that we shall push further north to the Lonely Mountain. A tempting offer. I have long ago recovered the remaining rings of the dwarves. Though they failed to serve the purpose of submitting the will of the bearers to mine, unlike the 9, they were still useful for a while. The dwarven kings were devoured by their greed and were destroyed by it. Although the 3 in my possession are a valuable source of power, I wonder if I couldn't pry the greedy dwarves away from the allies. I think that's tempting. What are the rings we have? Domain taxes mostly and some casualties. I think it's worth it. Let's try. Dine rejected our offer. Uri rejected. Okay, they all rejected. I wonder if you can actually get them. But Dale is taken at least. Oh, he still has the kingdom title and he's at war. Listen, Dine, you had your chance. You had your chance for peace, now you're gonna have war. Let's take the Erebor. I think we want Grond for the siege. They are giving us a good fight. They are holding out pretty good. Tomb Raider. Deep inside Erebor, in the stone tomb of Thorin Oakenshield, clutching on his breast the greatest treasure in the mountain, the Arkenstone. On his belt hangs the legendary sword Orcrist, forged in Gondolin in the ages past. The dwarves would hate me for plundering those, but they would be greatly useful. Who cares what the dwarves think? The Lonely Mountain is ours. For too long the accursed dwarves of the Lonely Mountain have sat fat and proud upon their piles of gold, hiding behind the gates of the great mountain. They have steadfastly defended their homes, their axes sharp and their armor nigh impervious. No longer. Now the Lonely Mountain is laid bare, its gates rent and its halls red with dwarven blood. The riches of the dwarves, shining jewels, precious gems, intricately carved weapons and gold beyond measure and sorrow, all are ours to take and plunder. Long have many thought this realm unconquerable, save by dragonfire, but I have laid it bare. Dale and the Erebor are not going to Dol Guldur, they are going to the Dog Lord. The return of the king. So Aragorn was finally crowned as King of Gondor, High King of the Dunedain in exile. Accursed Dunedain, your end shall come soon, king or no. There he is, High King Aragorn. But we shall first focus back up north. After the dwarves, the woodland realm shall fall. Oh, we captured Thranduil. What if we just execute him? That makes Legolas the new king. Oh, we won, but I see Legolas leading his armies. Let's try to get him. We captured him as well. You know what that means. Hey, Torion is the new queen. That's nice. I mean, we won the war, but she was queen. And with that, we can desecrate the woodland caves. Thranduil's halls, mere cheap imitations of the underground refuge of the coward Thingol, have long stood in the northern Mirkwood as a beacon of strength and stability around which his people have gathered. Instead of refuge, let us make them an abode of dark things, cast out the light and fill the caves with sorrow and fear. Long did the halls of the Elven King withstand the siege. Holed up in the underground fastness, the elves were tough to dislodge. But in the end, my forces proved too powerful, and the gates were broken. Thranduil's halls lie despoiled and ravaged, emptied of all its inhabitants. Gaze upon the mighty works of the Sylvan Elves. They are naught now but crumbling tombs. Buried beneath their halls, the elves now are, with spiders and worms, the bedfellows. So ends the woodland realm. I've decided to march up north the Anduin Vale and kill the Frumlings, but it seems I lost the footage of the war declaration. I won't give this land to Dol Guldur, because I've noticed that the kingdom is called East Angmar, and I think I will give this to the Ice King, and he can have some of the mountains, Gundabad and stuff like that. As you can see, Aragorn has reformed his realm to the reunited kingdom. That's enough. Gondor has stood defiant against your will, great lord, for far too long. If we can secure Ithilien as a point of attack against it, we could amass such an army that even Minas Tirith will fall. The last pitiful defense of the West, Gondor, has stood against my designs for too long. The Dunedain have hope even now that they can resist me. It is time to break that hope. With Ithilien secured, we can now begin a full assault upon Gondor in earnest. Minas Tirith will fall. With my dark lieutenants at the helm of my vast hordes, the kingdom of Gondor cannot hope to stand against the shadow that now rises from Mordor. If Minas Tirith falls, the kingdom will shatter, the leadership scattered and demoralized.
Send forth your legions.
And as we can see, the whole east have joined the attack. 95,000 troops. Minas Tirith shall fall to our hordes. And now we are gonna crush their armies on the battlefield. And with that, the war is won. We get some northeastern territories, and many people will become independent rulers. Minas Tirith has fallen. The white tree burns yet as kindling for the dinner fire of my feasting troops. Gondor is shattered, its leadership scattered and disorganized. The Westlands now lay open, and with no force strong enough to assail my lands, my conquest is all but inevitable. A glorious day for Mordor. The sun has finally set on the damned Dunedain. Okay, so we got some territories. We have some independent lords in the south and Arnor in the north. It is done. Minas Tirith has fallen to my forces. Her defenders are slain or driven to rout, and anyone left alive within her white walls is soon to be doomed to slavery or death. We have overcome the 7 walls and the 7 gates of the White City and plucked the Steward's banner from the top of the Tower of Exile to be replaced with my own insignia. Gondor has been dealt a fatal blow. I shall taint the city as was done with her sister. The flames can be seen as far as Pelagia by the coast. Minas Tirith has fallen to the armies of the Dark Lord, and the walls of the White Tower have turned black from ash and smoke. As the banners of Mordor are raised upon its walls, one question plagues the free peoples that remain. Does this mark the end of the Third Age? Who can stand against the encroaching darkness? The shadow falls upon the Dunedain. As we had our great victory in the south, it seems like Saruman lost against Rohan. Saruman has failed his task. We shall replace him soon. Yo, the mouth of Sauron died as well. 102 years of age. Aragorn and Arwen have a son and a daughter, and the son is crazy. He has nearly perfect traits. I was thinking, what if we abduct him and keep him in prison until we can recruit him to our court with our religion. In the meantime, let's march on the Riddermark. Okay, we got him. That's enough. But I would like to place a Nazgûl in Isengard and then give him Rohan, so let's kill Theoden. Perfect. And now his daughter rules, which means the truce is over and we can redeclare instantly. Oh, that is actually her last piece of land, and then the horse people are dealt with. Okay, that's an easy win, of course. And we can now give all those lands to Korahil, the blind sorcerer. Isengard first, and all of Rohan as well. Okay, so I've noticed some bugs, and It seems there was an update for the mod, which I didn't see, and played for about an hour with it. But the new update brought us a new courtroom for Sauron. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Fantastic work. And I think there should even be like 2 more new courtrooms, but I didn't find them yet. The time has come to march on Rivendell and claim the lands of Elrond. I gotta say, the dwarves put on a better fight than he did. And we can now desecrate Imladris. Rivendell, longer refuge of the elves, it will hide them no longer. Tear down the walls of the House of Elrond and make it a monument to their folly. Foul are the elves, mortal enemies of our kind. For untold years have the elves of the Hidden Valley hindered us, their parties hunting down, slaughtering our raiders and soldiers at every available opportunity, all while remaining hidden and untouched. Now they fall. They shall hunt us and obstruct us no more, for the Hidden Valley burns. My men have marched against it, and those high and mighty elves that did not flee like cowards into their forests have been slaughtered without mercy. The trees of the kingdom burn into the night, their high walls and sanctuaries are laid waste. Never again may their kind impede our advance, our mortal enemies vanquished. And while we have driven out Elrond from his home, his grandson Eldarion has become a man. We can now recruit him and demand his conversion. He really is looking kinda evil. He shall now become a loyal subject and the new Warden of the Black Gates. The son of Aragorn has fallen to the darkness. And now we shall push his claims against his own father. I don't want to push the Empire tier claim, because he will become independent then. We are marching on Annuminas, the great city of the north, and we've taken it. And as the peace ends, we are going back in on Aragorn. The men don't stand a chance. We used the last years wisely and have killed Elrond, Galadriel, Arwen and the 3 sisters of our Eldarion. And the coolest thing is Eldarion always was part of the plots. So we can now finally finish off the Kingdom of Arnor and end Aragorn's rule. We strip him of the last bits of land and will give them to his son, our loyal vassal, who will become the rightful king once his father dies, as we've killed all his sisters and everyone who could claim this title. So let's get Eldarion in on the murder against his father. High King Elessar is dead. The last hope for the free people of Middle-earth has died, and passes the rightful throne to his son, King Eldarion Adumir of Arthedain, who has fallen to darkness and rules as subject of Sauron the Almighty. This is where we are gonna leave the story. The fourth age of Middle-earth has long begun. The rule of the Dark Lord Sauron stretches in every corner of Middle-earth. His Nazgûl, first of them the Witch King, rule as Dark Lieutenants over all the conquered territories. Only the northern kingdom of the humans is ruled by the treacherous and fallen Eldarion, the Dark Prince Adumir. Most of the known world has converted to the cult of the lidless eyes, and if we take a look on the alignment map, we can see that darkness is on the rise in every corner of Middle-earth. I really hope you liked the video, and if so, please consider commenting, liking and subscribing. I hope to see you in the next one.